A tornado outbreak is anticipated today, with conditions aligning for several strong to potentially violent tornadoes across much of the Midwest and the Mississippi Valley. There is an increasing threat of EF3 or stronger tornadoes in areas such as Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky, where a dangerous mix of high instability, powerful wind shear, and numerous supercells could lead to long-lasting and intense tornadoes. As the situation develops, storms are expected to organize into a line, transitioning the main threat toward widespread damaging winds, though a few tornadoes could still occur. Overall, this is shaping up to be a highly active severe weather day. Let's dive into the forecast. There are several key updates regarding today's expected outbreak across the Midwest and Mississippi River Valley. Starting with the latest SPC outlook, it's somewhat surprising. I personally expect a moderate risk of severe weather to be issued later. The main uncertainty lies with the morning storms currently in progress, but they should clear out quickly enough to allow multiple supercells to form later today, bringing large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. At the moment, an enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5, is in place, covering central and southern Illinois, much of eastern and central Missouri, and extending as far south as northwestern Tennessee. There is a slight risk of severe weather extending from southern Wisconsin down through Memphis and Nashville, with a marginal risk surrounding that area from western Wisconsin to central Mississippi. Across this entire region, all types of severe weather are possible today. One of the main concerns is the potential for numerous to widespread damaging winds. The highlighted pink zone indicates a 45% chance of damaging winds within a 25-mile radius, affecting places like Springfield, Illinois, St. Louis, and as far south as Mayfield, Kentucky. Beyond that, scattered to numerous damaging wind events are possible from central Wisconsin near Warsaw down to Little Rock, Arkansas. Large to very large hail is also a concern, especially in areas such as Springfield, Illinois, Des Moines, Little Rock, and Memphis. Some supercells this afternoon could produce hail as large as apples, around 3 inches in diameter, so it's important to protect vehicles. In addition, there is a threat of several tornadoes this afternoon and evening. A broad tornado risk stretches from northeast Texas up into Wisconsin, but the greatest concern lies within the highlighted brown and yellow areas, where multiple tornadoes are expected. Some of these could be strong, intense, and potentially even violent, with the possibility of long-track tornadoes, particularly near cities like St. Louis and Springfield. This is the area where EF3 or stronger tornadoes are most likely, so it's important to have a tornado safety plan ready today. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings and stay updated. Be sure to follow our channel as well. We'll be providing extensive live coverage this afternoon and evening, including storm chasers on the ground tracking the situation. One additional point about the tornado threat, I would expect the 5% hatched tornado risk area to expand into places like Little Rock, Arkansas. While that may not be reflected yet, it wouldn't be surprising to see strong tornadoes develop there. In fact, I think future outlooks could upgrade this region to a moderate risk. So if you are in this area, stay alert. Multiple tornadoes are possible this afternoon and evening, especially from St. Louis down into southern Illinois. Looking ahead to Tuesday, the severe weather threat will continue across the lower Mississippi River Valley and into the southern plains. All types of severe weather are possible from Dallas and San Antonio to Nashville and Knoxville. The primary concern will be damaging winds, with gusts potentially reaching 60 to 70 miles per hour, along with the chance for large to very large hail, particularly from early supercells forming near Dallas, Little Rock, and Memphis. There is also a chance for a few tornadoes, with a 5% tornado risk covering the Dallas-Fort Worth area into southwestern Arkansas, and a 2% risk extending from Alabama back into Texas. Be sure to have multiple ways to receive alerts and a tornado safety plan ready, as Tuesday is also expected to be an active severe weather day. We'll likely be live with coverage then as well. Before getting into timing, it's important to understand why today's tornado threat is so concerning. The atmosphere features strong wind shear combined with high instability and significant tornado parameter values exceeding 5 across a large region, from Texas up into Illinois. This creates a highly favorable environment for tornado development, especially near the St. Louis area. If the morning storms clear out quickly enough, discrete supercells could lead to substantial tornadic activity in that region. The peak tornado threat is expected between about 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. Some tornadoes could also develop in Arkansas, possibly extending as far south as the Texarkana area, with additional potential in Kentucky and Tennessee later in the evening. After around 2 a.m., the tornado threat should decrease significantly. Overall, however, the risk will persist throughout much of the day. Storm activity is expected to begin ramping up around lunchtime and continue through midnight, with the most intense period occurring between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. Now, let's break down the timing of today's severe weather hour by hour, starting with this morning. As of around 9 a.m., there is already a line of thunderstorms stretching across Missouri into Illinois, along with a few storms in Kentucky. By 10 o'clock to 11 a.m., the tornado risk will begin to increase. There could be a storm in western Kentucky capable of producing large hail and possibly a tornado. Meanwhile, the area near St. Louis will become more favorable for damaging winds and potential tornado development. After about 1 p.m., severe weather is expected to intensify significantly. A few supercells may develop across Kentucky and Tennessee, bringing a heightened risk of strong tornadoes and very large hail. At the same time, clusters of storms will persist across Illinois and Indiana. By 3 o'clock to 4 p.m., numerous supercells are expected to develop. The forecast shows many updraft tracks, indicating a large number of storms forming. This period will feature the most favorable conditions for strong and potentially long-track tornadoes. Any supercells that remain discrete during this time could produce significant tornadoes. By 5 p.m., a large number of supercells are expected to be active around the St. Louis area. Southern Illinois and western Kentucky will remain very active with ongoing storms. By around 6 p.m., some discrete supercells will still be present, but a line of thunderstorms is expected to develop near St. Louis, extending into western Illinois and Missouri. While tornadoes can still occur within this line, the primary threat will quickly shift to damaging winds, potentially reaching 60 to 80 miles per hour, making for a significant wind event. At the same time, any remaining discrete supercells across Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee could still produce tornadoes. Between 8 o'clock and 9 p.m., new storms may begin developing in Arkansas. If that happens, all types of severe weather will be possible. Areas from Little Rock to Fort Smith should be especially prepared and have multiple ways to receive warnings overnight. By 10 o'clock to 11 p.m., a broad area of severe weather will still be ongoing. This activity is expected to continue into the overnight hours across Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi, bringing damaging winds and the potential for a few embedded tornadoes within the line of storms before conditions transition into Tuesday. As for Tuesday, it is shaping up to be another active and somewhat complex day. Widespread thunderstorms are expected to develop, possibly starting as early as midday. These storms should quickly evolve into clusters, though any initial supercells that form could still produce tornadoes. Overall, the setup looks more disorganized compared to today. For Tuesday, the main concern looks to be large hail and damaging winds, with a few tornadoes still possible within what is expected to be a messy storm setup. However, the southern plains could see a more significant tornado threat, depending on how quickly storms merge together. There may be a window in northeast Texas, around the Dallas-Fort Worth area and into southwestern Arkansas, where one or two discrete supercells could develop between roughly 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. If that happens, the tornado risk would be higher in those areas. Otherwise, storms are likely to form into clusters, making damaging winds and large hail the primary threats. Still, any storm that remains isolated could produce a tornado or two, so it's important to stay weather aware. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.